this thing. Okay. So, we are in the process of headed to Eve. Actually, why don't we head back out here? And why don't we just turn down that music even more? And maybe just the obvious stuff just down a lot more. And see what that's like. Yeah, so we're going to head to Eve today with our probe, which is actually inspired by the Cassini-Huygens, I'm not quite sure how to say it, satellite. So in my previous video, we actually created that long-distance satellite, and today we're going to improve on it. So let me just find what we were working on. Let's see, long distance. Here we go, long distance sat. And it's gonna be way up here at the top of the VAB. Awesome, so you'll see more of the satellite, but it's way up there right now. Right now what we're building is the stages for it to get up there. So we're gonna start by just kind of working on getting the bottom parts of the engine together. So let's go ahead and get started there. So let's start with our separator here. Obviously we're going to need the large stack separators. It can be bigger than that. Let's see what we got here. There we go. And then we'll do some more of these fuel tanks. And then a big old engine there. And I think that might be enough for us, honestly. Right now we're looking at, 12,000 milliseconds of delta V altogether, 2,000 on this stage, or 12,000 meters per second. Gosh, I'm sorry. First time streamer here, guys. So that might be enough for us there, especially just because we have kind of a light load at the top here. So our thrust to weight ratio is high enough for us to get up there. And that's without even correcting the staging. So I'm going to click on the main part of this core. Just bring it down a little bit. There we go. Oops, still not enough. I'll be curious to know by the end of the stream if what I'm streaming is actually better quality than I see on my actual monitor, because on my monitor I'm losing all sorts of frames. But when I played back a previous version of this stream, it actually looked really good. So for this, with this rocket, we'll probably just add a couple of these boosters. I don't do any kind of like asparagus staging or anything like that. Maybe I'll get into that in later streams. But for now, let's just add a crap ton of solid rocket boosters. So that's 6. Let's see what we get with that. And then I'm going to want my largest solid rocket boosters I have. Those are actually a little high on here. So I think we might reposition these. Maybe to the middle here. And then put in our solid rocket boosters. And I'm going to put them on for the center. But then I'll use my move tool and actually move these down. Move these down. And then we'll go ahead and add our struts. Kind of cheat here a little bit. I'm going to move in. Down a little bit. Again, I'm not going to do anything fancy here. I'm just going to strut these down. And I'm just giving these for stability because they are going to move a crap load when we get to the actual launch. That might be enough. Let's add our cones. Give us a little bit of aerodynamics. Not those ones. These ones. Voila. Alright. And I'll check my staging when we get on the range. Not a big deal here. Alright. So we're on the range. And we're going to get ready to launch this thing. And so yeah, we're going to check our staging on the range. So here we are. We've got our solid rocket boosters and our main engine in stage 7 now. Our separation is stage 6. And then our first stage will separate when our second stage fires. Looks like we've got two of those pieces put together at the same place. We don't need that. Then when that launches, we'll probably do a separation at some point of this, which I'll probably just do manually. And the others, we'll worry about those when we get up there. Okay, so like I said, we are going to Eve today. And I have to be honest with you, I have not done very many of these trips outside of our solar system, or outside of our little sphere of influence around Kerbin. And so headed out towards Eve this is gonna be a first time for me. So I'm gonna try out this maneuver planner. See if is there anything in here that could help me. Circularize, fine tune, intercept, Hoffman transfer to target, transfer to another planet. At the next transfer window, I want to create that node. Yeah, that's us. Oop. What do we do here? Warning, recommended starting interplanetary transfers from a near circular orbit. Plan transfers. Oh, it says we should probably get up there. All right. So let's remove all nodes, and we'll get back to you. Until then, why don't we get it up in space? We know how to do that, right? So, SAS on. Let's launch this thing. A little bit slow to get off the pad. We're going to keep an eye on the solid rocket boosters. Oh, I know why. How about if I thrust it up? I probably don't need to give it full thrust, honestly. See daylight coming in over the edge there at the skyline. lot of better turning on it now. The vectoring of that engine is really working well for us. Our next levels of staging are fine. Keeping an eye on that apoapsis. I think we'll do a circularized orbit around 150 kilometers tonight. Not the most efficient burn today, but that's alright. Looks like we're going to lose our first stage just in our orbit here. Just in getting into an orbit, excuse me. So, nothing perfect there. Still a little bit of atmosphere while we've turned it around, but we're in space now. I'm going to deploy this. That way you can get a first look here at what we're dealing with. So yeah, so this is the satellite. So you can see on the front here we've got our long distance satellite dish here with some RCS on the exterior. We've also got our awesome probe on the outside. I gotta get ready for my burn, so I'm gonna go ahead and start preparing for that. Get ready for our maneuver. Give ourselves our slightly circularized orbit. Nothing too perfect here. 75. No, that won't do it. 125. 15. Not perfect. I gotta be honest. Maybe if I start my burn a little bit earlier here. See what we do there. There we go. Oh, no, that won't do it either. Well, I guess we'll try burning that apoapsis. You know what? I'm going to delete this node. I made it all nasty. Burn, burn, burn. Sure. Sure. Sounds great. Why not? That's better. Okay, let's go with that. Alright, so let's get ready for that maneuver. I'm going to close out this window and bring up our engineering stuff here. No, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Kerbal Engineering Orbital. Aha. That's going to help us through our burn a little bit better. Boom. Boom. There's our trusty ship now. Awesome. Let's not do any erratic staging here. Delta V, looking good. And I think I missed my burn a little bit ago, but we're gonna continue it. Just keep it on the track. No problem. Oh, there it goes. Now we're in our stage. Now our only hope is that I left enough Delta V in this stage right here to burn us to Eve. And didn't just waste it all getting all this weight up. Because otherwise we're going right back to the VAB. Positive periapsis here soon. We're just going to manually watch that number until I feel like it's a good number. That's fine. No need to waste any more fuel on a burn that's not going to get us to another planet. All right, back to the map. Back to unset. Oops, set as target. Fun. And now let's try our maneuver planner. Let's see what we got here. Woo! Perfect. 699 meters per second to get there. We can do that. And we'll reach it in 46 days for a 24-second burn. So it looks like this guy is going to have to spin around the planet for a few times. So knowing our height of our orbit, we're not going to be able to warp very quickly. But when we do get there, not quite sure how it thinks we're going to get there with that burn. Maybe it knows something I don't know. Let's see. Wow, this is not quick, huh? Let's see. Maneuver planner. Create a new maneuver to transfer to another planet. Let's remove all nodes. We want to transfer to another planet. Advanced transfer to another planet. Ooh, fun. Limited time. See what comes up here. Whoa, that's not good. Computing. I've never seen something where it says it has to compute. That's kind of interesting. It's computing our advanced transfer. Max arrival time, 2 years. Create node. This node burn is only in 1 year. Ha. Ah, but it does get you there. It's kind of fun. In 1 year. Initial orbit may not be hyperbolic. Burn in 1 year and 44 days. That's not going to work either, is it? This is hard, huh? Let's remove all nodes. Tell you what we're gonna need to do. We're gonna need to get out of this small orbit that we got here and do it with very little fuel. So let's go ahead and add a maneuver node here. Let's hold on. Let's just remove all nodes. Remove all nodes. Close this. Close this. Take our apoapsis. Change that. What's that escape look like? That probably just puts us out here. Hey, what about that? We can hit the moon. You guys want to hit the moon? Maybe we can test this by just hitting the moon today. Let's start there. All right. This is a maneuver that is happening in 31 minutes. A lot better. So. Oh, hi, Charles. Good to see you. We're going to hit the moon here. Alright, so let's go ahead and speed this game up to our burn. So we're going to have a 28-second burn, so that has to happen 14 seconds before we actually need to hit the periapsis. So I'll slow it down when our node number gets a little bit lower here. Alright. Alright, oops. This is going to be a quick burn. Get ready for it. Let the RCS thrusters help us, and let's burn! Alright, not a very interesting stream to watch if you can't see the rocket. Sorry, I'm executing a burn on the dark side of a planet. Oh, off only by a little bit, that's fine. Alright, we're on our way to the moon. Go ahead and let that thing track out a little bit. And here comes the moon, entering into its sphere of influence, and there we are. So there's our periapsis to the moon. We're going to go ahead and slow ourselves down in order to bring ourselves into an orbit and set our maneuver for that. That is happening in 1 hour. So speed up to that burn. That's going to be a 4-second burn. And then we're just going to let that timer tick down to about 30 seconds, give or take. Awesome. Get into view, turn on those RCSs to get us into the maneuver. Again, gonna burn this at 2 seconds. It's gonna not take much to get us there. Perfect. All right. Now we can clean up this orbit a little bit if we wanted to, but as of right now, there's Kerbin. Here's our rocket, and somewhere around here is a moon. Kerbin, Kerbin, Kerbin. There's the sun. Oh, there it is. Just barely see the shadow of it. Let's go ahead and turn off all of our assists. Rotate around this guy so you can be on the sunny side. There he is. There's the moon. Alright, so now we've got the moon here. So what do we need to do now? What do we want to do? Well, obviously, we don't need this guy. So let's go ahead and decouple our stages. And now we've got just our satellite. Gonna stabilize that with our RCS. So here's our little RCS guy. I brought along a bunch of sensors here. So we're going to go ahead and start our multispectral scans and our radar scans of our here moon. And even transmit that science. Nothing's being collected yet. I think I need to be in a polar orbit anyways for most of these, but that's fine because that is not the mission here today. We are going to shoot a projectile at the moon as a test. So, first thing we need to do is get pointed in the right direction. And I know you're not supposed to shoot directly at things. I know there's better ways for targeting, but for just testing purposes, why the heck not? Look, maybe we can point at target. Oh, I know what we need to do. We need to drive it from here. So let's go ahead and say control from this vessel. Still not pointing at the right target, is it? Yeah, it still has the Eve selected. I wish. Unset target. Back to our moon target. Set as target. And now, oops. Not doing too good with the selecting today. Sorry, guys. Well, that's alright. We're just going to do it by... Now, this will be a really interesting test of the vehicle to see if I can actually not only successfully target another planet that I'm orbiting, which I know there's a lot of planes to deal with here. So hopefully I've steered myself in the correct direction here, and I can always change it once I launch off because this thing's actually got some rockets. So, we're controlling from the correct vehicle. Control from here. We are hopefully pointing in the right direction. Obviously, no atmosphere on this planet, so these parachutes are not useful for us, but hopefully we can land with this rocket. When we separate here, these separatrons are going to push us into the hopeful orbit. But hopefully we will get there. So let's go ahead and let's just do it. Let's just have fun here. So I'm going to just check my staging. I'm going to turn off all of these things. Maybe keep on RCS. Check that staging. Yep, that's going to release us. That's going to fire our separatrons. That's going to launch our rockets. I'm going to go ahead and put those in the same thing. Why not? That's going to work. All right. Here we go. Testing. Going to hit a quick save here. Quick save 23 in case something goes wrong. I'm going to turn on some lights. Why not? Here we go. 3, 2. Oh wait, hold up. That engine's going to fire first. That's fine. 3, 2, 1. Alright, so far we've launched towards our moon. Looks like all it did was change our apoapsis. Our periapsis did drop, however. That's good. And now that's it. We've burned all of our fuel and the separatrons. Now all of the maneuvers that we're going to have to do to land on the moon are going to have to happen with what's ever left in the fuel. So obviously, burning a periapsis is not going to be the best way to do that. So we're going to go ahead and have this guy, oops, make 1 revolution around the moon. And 2, apparently. And then we're going to go ahead and burn for a landing. So that is at 100 meters, 800 meters. Oops. I think I messed that up. Go ahead and do it again. Nope. Keep hitting the wrong button. Alright, let's get this right. Alright, let's just try it. Let's make a change to that maneuver. We've got a 29-minute time period till we get to this maneuver node. Of indiscriminate amount of time. Although we do know how much time it is, because over here in our Kerbal engineering, we know that we need to burn for 1.8 seconds to change for 47 meters per second of delta V. And so we'll burn out a little bit more time here. Obviously don't need more than like 20 seconds left here on the clock for us to be able to perform this maneuver. Alright, we're ready here. Let's do this thing. So we're going to burn at 1 second. Our engines are activated, so we should be able to complete this burn correctly. Oh, messed it up a little bit, but that's still going to plot us on a course to land. Alright. Now the fun part begins. We're going to go ahead and flip on this guy. And there's where we're going. Alright. We got our reaction wheels helping us make the turn around towards the planet. There's our prograde and our retrograde marker. I'm going to get rid of our orbital information, turn our surface information, so that way we can see our altitude, vertical speeds, horizontal speeds, because obviously these are all things we're going to have to trim off with our remaining fuel to be able to land. Right now our current estimated impact time is 13 minutes. We don't actually kill aliens in this game, Reality Fails. There's nothing else out there. Even though we like to think that there are things out there, it would seem there's nothing else out there. So we've got landing feed on this, so that'll be good. And we've got a couple of experiments to run. Obviously not our intended destination tonight, but a landing is a landing. So if we can make a landing tonight, that'd be great. Alright. Doing that, put us down to 2 minutes for impact time. I'm going to go ahead and say that I can arrest all of this vertical and horizontal speed in less than a minute. So I'm just going to let it speed up. Alright, so now we're falling to the planet at approximately 600 meters per second. So we're going to have to kill some of that off. Go ahead and take a look at what we're looking at. That's looking good. Alright, change this information to surface information. Go ahead and killing off some of that speed now. We're going to have to keep an eye on fuel here to be able to do this successfully in one burn. Because our parachutes are not going to help us here. And once that gets below 100 meters per second, just go ahead and cut it and let it accelerate back up. So our vertical speed is looking pretty good. It's going to speed back up a little bit. And our horizontal speed is also looking pretty good. All of these things, we've got such a light craft, we should be able to kill it on our way down. Our prograde is moving back up to the top. So that's a good sign that we're headed in the right direction for a landing here. Alright. We're not going to be landing on a particularly good incline, I think. I don't know. We'll see. It says the slope is 4 degrees. That's not too bad. We'll see if it actually hits that. Impact biome is lowlands. We've been here before, so nothing crazy to see in terms of experiments. But, again, we're just practicing here. I'm going to go ahead and eject this extra weight of heat shield. Not too interested in a heat shield here. Go ahead and toggle on gear action, because why not? We've got fun landing legs here. And keep us on track with our retrograde there. let our altitude to terrain get down a little bit lower before we start our burn. Our altitude terrain is 7,000 meters here, which reads differently than this. This is the number we're going to stay interested in. I'm going to go ahead and start my burn. Again, got to keep an eye on that fuel. I want to make sure we have a successful landing after making the trip all the way out here. Just going to get it down to 20, cut it, and let it accelerate again. Again, just right now. Oh, something crashed into the planet. Oh, probably our heat shield. Again, just arresting as much of that as possible. I'm going to bring up my fuel meters here so I can just keep an eye on it. Yes, the Apollo 13 capsule did never land on the moon. Did not land on the moon, so we're hoping to make that successful landing here today with a probe that has no people, just science. Cool, we're coming up on the planet, so we're going to have to go ahead and expend some of that fuel. There we go, 10 meters per second. It's going to accelerate back up. I'm going to turn on stabilization. Beautiful landing here. Good landing site. Hopefully I don't mess up my first landing on a live stream. You good still? .2, 4.8, 4.8, and perfect landing, if I do say so myself. There you have it. We've landed our probe, and we're going to go ahead and start our run of analysis. Extend our antenna. Turn off our SAS, and eventually we're going to have to go around and shut down all these engine parts. Because you don't want to accidentally launch back off into space once we spend all that time getting here. So I already got back to another one that says activate, so we should be good. Yes, our engines are completely off. We can go ahead and stage the parachutes, why not? Turn on our seismologic data information. Burn up all of our electrical charge doing an experiment that causes our craft to go dark and for us to lose any kind of connection to it. And actually, we still have a connection to it. But, of course, we brought a generator inside of that craft that's able to get back our electricity. So, there you have it. We launched our probe on another planet, although it's a planet that we've been to before. But a successful landing nonetheless. See if there's any, are there any other, oh yeah, we're in a vacuum. It's hot on this side of this planet apparently. Let's see what else we got going on here. There's a long distance satellite that is still floating around said moon that is collecting science. Here's the other side of that pod. Looks like its orbit did not really get knocked out that much by jettisoning the pod. So that's good. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to try and fix its axis here, or its orbit. Get something that's a little bit more refined to what other orbits are doing. Try that. 74 meters per second burn, but it's an 11-minute burn. No, excuse me, it's not an 11-minute burn. But Let's see. It's a 2-minute burn. And I know I won't be in that sphere of influence for more than 2 minutes, but it says I can burn at 1 minute. That ion propulsion looks like it might actually work at this weight of our vessel, very small vessel. Let's see how these are doing over here. You can't collect any good science. Never need the moonbound biomes. Oh, that's cool. It says it's too high. Well, we're gonna fix that. Data shows broad sweeping strokes. Too high as well. Well, we're gonna fix all those things. I'm also gonna just turn on this one, because why not? Put a bunch of satellites on here. Awesome, so we've extended out that relay. We've got our probe on the surface. If you missed it earlier, we launched a probe off of the satellite, the mother satellite here, and we sent it down to our planet, to our moon. And this is what the probe that we launched down looked like. And we made a solid landing here. And it's collecting science for us. So we'll switch back over to our long distance satellite, which is going to make a burn here in a sec. 10 minutes till burn. You know, it's a 2-minute burn, so we'll have to make that burn with 1 minute, 13 seconds remaining. Navigate towards that burn. Alright, get ready for this burn. Time to burn. 30 seconds left. This will put us a little bit closer to the planet, hopefully enough to actually collect some science. Let's see what we get here. Alright, and we are going to burn. The most uninteresting burn I have ever done. Look at that little ion propulsion doing what it can. It's just pushing it along. Well, I guess I misrepresented this feed and said that we'd be headed to Eve today. That's obviously not looking like it's going to happen on this move. But we'll try again some other time. Yes, the little ion propulsion system that could. It's a very good little film. So yeah, we're still just burning here. This is one of a very long burn. Still got about a minute left in this burn, actually. But I like the savings that we get with the ion propulsion. This satellite was never meant to have to use really the ion propulsion to do more than just correction burns for its orbit. And then the RCS thrusters just allow us to move it around in directions. Probably could just use the reaction wheel for that, but I wanted to make it more like the Cassina satellite, which uses RCS thruster propulsion to rotate it around, and also probably to change around its direction, or excuse me, its orbits. Although I have to look, I think it has its own. Let's see, Cassini. Let's see if the Cassini has. Oh yeah, the Cassini has a little engine on it too. Oh, it's all right. I like our little ion thruster. Almost done with this burn. Just have to change 10 more meters per second of delta V. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and perfect. That is very accurate. Perfect little orbit. Go ahead and move it around to this side. We're going to add a similar maneuver there. Let's see, what's our height? Our moon periapsis is at 100, so we'll put our apoapsis at a similar height. This thing might crash into the planet, but we'll see. Alright, same thing there. This one's 100 meters per second, so quite a bit longer burn here. It's a 3-minute burn, and we'll have to see that in real time. So exciting things happening in planetary burn space. Oops, missed it. That's alright. It's such a long burn, being off by 12 seconds is not too bad. Maybe I can correct it with some sweet RCS thrust. Give us a little more oomph. A little bit bigger of a push there. Let's see if that helped at all. Because I got plenty of that RCS fuel, I'm sure. Yeah, plenty amount of propellant for a vehicle that doesn't really need to make very many adjustments. Plenty of battery life, too. The ion propulsion is using it up. Be curious if we have enough battery life to complete this burn. Do I have lights on this? I don't think so. Got 60 more meters per second of delta V that we need to change on this burn. So you can see my design here. Pretty simple. It's just got a probe core in the center here. Some batteries to give it extra power because of our ion propulsion system taking up so much power. And then a bunch of these nuclear power generators, 4 of them, which is adding a lot of the weight to the vehicle. But since it doesn't really have much besides just this giant satellite dish, which was, I designed it to go in deep space. And then these 2 science probes for mapping interstellar planets. RCS canisters. A 3-minute burn would have been a better presidency than a 4-year Trump. Yeah, I can see that. It's a good joke. I see you got jokes. Thanks, channel. Thanks, chat. And then back here, just a direct relay satellite, or a dish. Just cause, why not have a relay and a direct on the same guy if we're going for long distances, especially because we have those probes that we're dropping on planets. We're building out a little interstellar satellite network full of not only communication satellites but also probes on planets. That way we're getting dual purpose when we're making those expensive launches off of our planet. Gosh, that moon is getting mighty close to us, huh? We're gonna be right up on it. Alright. Looks like we're getting to the end of our burn. Getting there, and we're done. That's it. Let's see what our orbit looks like. Yeah, 100, 109. I'll take that. It's pretty circular. It's a little bit wobbly, to say the least. But I think it might go over the site of our landing. Yeah, it does. Look at that. That's perfect. There's our probe sitting there. That's awesome. our relay and our probe all working together here. So let's go ahead and see if we can perform any science at our new altitude. I'm going to let this guy go around to the sunny side of the planet just so we can see a little bit more of our dish, or excuse me, of our guy here. Make it somewhat realistic and point our instrumentation towards the planet. It says suboptimal at this height. That's alright. Analyze it anyways. Sure. Ideal for the ScanSat. Sweet. Review data. Analyze data. Review data. I don't know. I'm just playing at this point. I'm just having fun. Let's see. With that, we can bring up our little map here of our terrain. And you can see exactly what we are mapping here. Make this bigger. Big map. There's our orbit. We have a fun little elliptical orbit. Change this map type. All of our fun ways that we can look at our map. And we can see our satellite moving around in space. Day-night determinator. Yeah, sure. Dark side of the moon, light side of the moon. Map color. Why not? Grid overlay. Orbit overlay. Yeah. Waypoints. Anomalies. We haven't mapped in. Oh, wait. What is that guy? First crewed landing. Oh, there's our first crewed landing site. It's being mapped. And our resources overlay. Instrumentation readouts. That's kind of cool. You can see our instrumentation about our current altitude, what biome we're over, and then what we're seeing below it. Let's take a look at the water. Is there any water on the moon? Oh, look! We've mapped some water on the moon, it appears. That's kind of cool. Let's see what else we have here. So we looked at that. This is our active mapping. See the part of the moon that we're currently flying over. It's kind of cool, huh? You can see it mapping new sections. So yeah. So this guy is off, and off to the races. So that leaves us to go back to the Space Center and figure out what our next plan is going to be. So we want to launch that same satellite this time. But we want to do it to something a little bit more interesting. Now, I know I should really be doing some planning when I do this, but I'm not going to. I'm just gonna go for it here. Let's have fun. Let's get a little dangerous. Let's get a little reckless here. All right, let's go for a launch here. So we've got our satellite, our rocket that took way too much energy last time to get anywhere, but who cares? Let's get this thing going. Launching in daylight this time. We're going to start our turn here a little bit earlier than last time. Those solid rocket boosters are attached there pretty well, considering all they have is just the struts and the separators there. Got a good launch going. Don't do anything crazy here. I think this time, literally just gonna go all out. We're just gonna launch at full steam ahead, hold nothing back, and see where we land. That may be nowhere. We may just find ourselves lost in space, or we may get to something interesting. We'll see. launch it into space and see if we can get this thing anywhere near a planet where we can land our probe, get our satellite doing something. I have no deep space satellite relay stations, so any satellite getting up into deep space at this point would be positive for us in our satellite network. Still burning here. Looks like we have to redo some of our design here later on. Maybe not tonight. A little bit more optimal design. Because it looks like we're spending a lot of fuel just to get our second stage up. Alright, there's the solid rocket boosters. Right now, currently, our Aquapsis height is only at 80,000 kilometers, or 80 kilometers, excuse me, so nothing too crazy. Gonna keep burning this way. Again, this is kind of our, like, balls to the wall, who cares, burn, or cares mission here. We're gonna see that number increase drastically. Get outside of the atmosphere. And we're going to use most of the fuel in this section here just to get to this stage. I'm going to go ahead and separate out these two stages just to be safe. Gotta go ahead and get rid of these fairings. Alright, there we go. Separation and launch. There goes our Aquapsis. Where it stops? Somewhere over there. Let's see. Maybe we can hit... Oh, no. Get far away enough we hit Duna. Let's see. We can always just let the propulsion engine do all the work after we're done with this. Goes. Our Aquapsis is continuing to increase. We're not pointing at anything in particular here. There it goes. And out. Out. We're not going to any of the interior planets, apparently. We hit Jewel. We're gonna hit this in a year. Jewel would be great. Let's see. Should we leave half of our fuel for the other side? I don't know. I'm kind of just ready for this thing to just go out into the exosolar system like the Voyager craft. I say we just let the thing burn. Boom. And there it goes. Somewhere out here, 9 years from now, it'll reach the furthest extent past Elu and start making its way back. That's exciting. Go ahead and separate these stages. go ahead and activate our ion propulsion system and let that burn. Why not? We're going to see very little increases here. Nothing too dramatic. I'll go ahead and cut it. There it goes. Now, just for shits and giggles, I'm going to see if there's any changes we could make. Look at that. That's fun. 600 meters per second of change in 7 days. And we could have this thing out. And it's gone. Let's see if I can make it a little bit better. Ooh, what if it returned every once in a while? No, it's more interesting if it never returns, right? Maybe I can do that burn a little sooner, right? Yeah. Why not? It's a 30-minute burn that would have to happen in real time, I believe. Let's see if I can cheat that. We can do that with autopilot. But none of that's going to help us right now. Let's see. Let's let this thing get out there. Oh, no. Well. I want it to execute the burn automatically for me without having to do anything. Maneuver node editor. Execute next node. What if we deleted it? Put it there. I still think it won't do it without us doing it. Still think it'll make us do it in real time. Let's see. Let's see if it slows it down for the burn. Please don't slow it down for the burn. That would be really boring. Getting closer to the node. Look at it. It's like we're gonna hit it. We're getting so close. Oh, let's go. Let's do it in real time. Nobody wants to watch a 29-minute burn on a Twitch stream. Should have packed a better engine. So, I think for this evening, that'll conclude what we're doing tonight. We're going to let this guy start a very long burn towards a very far away destination, which is out of our solar system and into deep space in a couple of years. And cut it off now. So thank you all for watching and being a part of this Twitch stream, and we'll continue to do this because this is really fun for me. So talk to y'all later, and bye.